Hello everyone and welcome back to the last part of our inventory system series. In this video, we will be creating the ability to double click on an item and use it. But however, I found an issue and we need to fix it. It's an important issue. And the issue is, let me demonstrate. Uh, I will change the capacity to 3 for better demonstration, for easier demonstration. So right now I have 3 capacity only. If I pick up this stuff and I pick up the potion and I pick up this potion, right now the inventory is full, right? No more slots. But however, the potion can hold one more quantity of it, right? And if I try to pick up more than one, it won't work because the game thinks that first it tries to stack it, but it checks that the amount you are trying to stack is bigger than the maximum stack. So then it tries to add it inside an empty slot, and since there are no slots, it won't add. So let's fix this so that it adds one item in here to the max stack and returns one in here. Okay. So first, let's go inside our widget, our inventory widget here. I want to do one thing in here. When we collapse the widget, we want to set the slider value to 1, to its default value, and close this. Now go inside your inventory component, inside the add item function, and at the start in here, before we try to stack the item, I want to get the quantity to add, the parameter, and I want to promote it to a local variable. Let's call it cached quantity to add. So we cache it before we change it, because we need to compare it later. Okay, and this quantity to add is being changed inside the stack item in here, set integer by ref. It's changing the parameter we pass, which is the quantity to add. So after we stack the item, we need to check inside this loop here. If quantity to add is bigger than 0, we still have quantity to add. We check inside this loop. If there are no empty slots, that means the inventory is full, right? But before we return false immediately, we need to check if, let's make another branch here, if the original quantity, the quantity to add, the parameter, is smaller than the cached quantity, than this one. That means that some items, at least some items, were added successfully, even if not all the items. Okay, so we don't immediately return false. We need to check if this is smaller. It means that some items were added, but not all of them. Okay. Now let's make another branch. If some item were added, we need to check if the quantity to add is smaller or equal to 0. That means all of them were added, all the items. Okay. That means we need to just connect this here. Okay, inside our update inventory UI. If not all of them were added, we need to first in here change the item to add parameter to pass by reference and constant, and get the item to add. And we need to set the item quantity, stack quantity, this one we are passing here. We need to set it to quantity to add, to be equal to quantity to add, because the quantity to add is the quantity remaining that wasn't added. Okay, so 2 in here. If it's 2, we still have 2 potions. We pick up 1 and we return 1, which is this one here, 1. It holds 1, value of 1. And then this, let's set this here from if quantity is smaller than, it's not smaller than the cached quantity to add, it means the inventory is full. Now in here, we need to get item to add again and set interaction text and get interaction text and plug it here. This will update the text, the interaction text, to say potion times 1 in our case. And then we want to return, we need to connect it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. If I pick up all these apples and I pick up the 2 potions, now if I pick up this one, as you can see, it says 3, it added 1. However, the item was destroyed because in here, although we do have 1 left, we are just returning true in here. So we are connecting this immediately to true, to this, right? But in here, we are checking if the item is added, we destroy the actor. Now we need a way to tell the engine that this item was added, but don't destroy it because you have quantity left. So in order to do this, we need to promote this to a variable, to a local variable called fully added, for example. Okay, and in here, we need to set the fully added to false because we still have 1 item. We don't need to destroy it. And now we connect it like this in here. And in here, from the true and from the loop, we want to set the fully added from completed, sorry, here. We want to set the fully added to true. Okay, and from here, we also need to set the fully added to true. Now we connect these. Or I could just remove this and connect this through immediately to this fully added. But make sure in here the fully added is false and it's connected to the update inventory UI, not to this, so it doesn't override itself. So now if we start again, pick up these apples, pick up potions, and as you can see, it's times 2 now. If I pick it up, it still won't work. It's still, oh yeah, because we need to pass this here as well, and in here. So now if I start and I pick up these and these, and if I pick up this potion, it stacks to the maximum, and the remaining is sent back to the word item, the item inside the word. So times 1. If I remove this apple here, for example, and pick up this, it picks up only 1. So it's working. Great. Now let's make an example on how to use the items. So first we need a new folder here. Let's call it usage, for example, and blueprint class of type actor, and let's call it bp underscore item usage base. And inside of this, we need to create a function. A function in here, a custom event, not function, so custom event. Let's call it use item. And in here, we want also an event dispatcher, and let's call it on item fully used. Okay, so first, inside the use item, I want to assign this. So when the item is fully used, we want to remove it from the inventory or remove one quantity from it if it has many stacks. And we want to destroy this class because we are spawning it later, so we need to destroy it. We don't need it anymore. So here, we need a reference to the inventory component, and to do that, we need to get a reference to our player. So inside begin play, let's get the player character, cast to third person character, over to pure testing, and if success, promote this to a variable, call it player ref. Okay, now here, player reference, get inventory component, and from here we remove the item. If this function is not public for you, just make it public. Click on it and make it remove private. And here, set it public. And for the slot index, for the quantity to remove, we want to remove only 1. And for the slot index, let's promote this to a variable, make it private, and incidentable, expose on spawn. And if it's removed, we need to destroy it. So destroy actor. We need to destroy this class. Okay, what else do we need? We need a function here. So let's create a function called can be used. Let's make it pure constant and make it return a boolean. So can be used. And by default, let's make it true. And before here, let's make a branch. If it's true, we use it. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because for health potion, you might have your health might be full, so you can't actually use this. You can't use the potion. Okay, so now let's close this and create a child from it. Let's call it bp underscore heal player. Let's open this up and let's override the use item. First, let's call the parent function for it, so it assigns the dispatch, event dispatch, and in here we want to heal the player. So let's make a function to heal him. So heal player, and let's also override the can be used. So override can be used, and in here right now we don't have any data for the player health. So if you do have, I will make a tutorial about it. I will extend this video so I show you how. But if you don't want to do it, if you want to just see this part of this video, just set this to true as well. And in here for the heal player, let's make a print healed player. Okay, and that's called heal player. Okay, and what else do we need? I think that's it. Now let's go inside our blueprints, struct, and inventory item data, create a new variable of type usage, bp item usage base, make it class reference, and let's call it usage. Close this, go inside the interactables, bp potion, and in here just the class set as bp, sorry, not the class, the usage. Where is it? Yeah, the usage, there it is. Call it heal player. static field player. And inside our widgets, inventory item slot. In here, let's override the on mouse button, double click, check if is mouse button down, the left mouse button, make a branch. If false, unhandled. And if true, we need to spawn actor from class, and the actor is the item slot. Get the item slot, split it, and break this data, and get usage. Check if it's valid class. If true, spawn it. And for the slot index, connect this. And for the spawn transform, just split it. And if not, just return false in here. And after this, we need to return true, handled, sorry, so handled. And we need to call use item. Okay, let's close this now. And I think we are ready to show our example. So let's pick up the potion. And if I double click, it says heal the player, but it didn't remove any. Oh yeah, that's because in here we need to call the on item fully used. We need to call it. So right now, if we use it, it reduces 1, and if you call it again, it reduces 1, and if you call it again, it removes the item entirely. Okay, now let's quick example can be used as set to false for the heal player, and if we try to use it, it doesn't work. It does work actually. Okay, I just noticed something. For the parent here, when you are calling the parent, what happens here is we check if it's true, and we do this, right? However, we need to remove this, because right now in here, when you call the parent, we are doing a then sequence, and whatever the result of the can be used, whether true or false, this will be called anyway, because it's a sequence. So what we need to do is we need to create a function here. So let's create, or not a function, an event also. Let's create an event. So a custom event, handle item usage. Now this will actually handle the usage of the item. And in here, let's restore this. We need it actually. So if true, bind this event by this and handle item usage. Okay. Now leave this as empty here. And inside our real player, remove this and handle. Let's override the handle item usage like this. Okay. And inside our inventory item slot, inside the double click, we don't need to call this. We need to call the. Oh yeah, actually we do need this. Yeah. And here we can set this to be private. The handle or protected. Sorry, the handle item usage. Okay. So now if we try again, okay, it's being called. However, if I go here and set the can be used to false, okay, and I try to do it, it won't work. It won't print the string. So now it's working. Okay. Now, if you want to stick around to check how I will connect my health bar to this function and so on, feel free to stick around. But if you don't, I think the tutorial is over, and I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a long series, but it was worth it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next series. For those of you who want to see how I will do my health bar, let's go first and create a widget for it. So widgets, user interface, widget blueprint, and let's call it WP underscore health, player health. Okay, and then here we need a size box. We need to set the fill to the side on screen. And inside the size box, we need a vertical box. And we need a progress bar. We need 2 progress bars. Let's call this one health progress bar. And let's call this one shield progress bar. And for the size box, let's make the width 500 and the height 130, and make these 2 fill, and give this one some padding, bottom padding maybe 10 or 15. Now for the shield and health bar, progress bars, let's select them both and edit the background image. I want the tint to be black and 0.25 on the alpha. I also want to draw it as a rounded box, radius 2222, outline black, and width of the outline 2, and the rounding type fixed size, fixed radius. And for the fill image, just copy this and set it here. But instead of tint, I want to set it for the tint. I want to set it as white. And for the health bar, I want the fill color opacity to be green. So maybe 0.4 or 0 and 0.75 like this. Maybe let's set it percent 1 like this. And for the shield, I want it to be also 1, and I think the shield is nice like this. Okay, and but let's make it 0, and let's make this one 6. Then sorry, not 6, 0.6, 0.4 by default like this for visual. Okay, and what else? Let's set a text here to show how the our health. So wrap with overlay, make it fill, and wrap this also with an overlay. Fill, get the text, and set it here on top of the overlay. Center it to the left, and give it a padding, maybe 15 or 20. Light, and the text 100 out of 100. Let's copy this and set it here as well. Let's call this health text. Make it a variable. And shield text. Let's make this smaller, 23, 22, like this, 23. And I want to import 2 images. So textures, and in here I want to import 2 images. And these are the 2 images I imported. And for the shield, I want to set it here. And for the health, I want to set it here. Let's center these to the left, make them, give them translation of -50, and give them a size of 50 and 50, or 40, like this. Let's make this 0 out of 100. And this is 0.4, so it's 40 out of 100. Okay, great. Now let's go inside our HUD. Blueprints, widget, HUD. Let's import this. So player health, set it here, size to content, anchor it to the bottom, 0, -0.2, and 1.5, like this. Now if we start the game, yeah, that's our health bar. Great. Now let's go back to our player health widget, create 2 functions. No, not graph, functions. Update player health and update player shield. Now for the player health and player shield, we need to create a struct. So let's go ahead and do that. Blueprint structure s underscore player health data. And then here we need a float, another float. We need 4 floats: current health, max health, current shield, max shield. And by default, I want to max health set it to 100, and max shield 100, and current health to 60, and max current shield 0. Now let's go back inside our player character class. And in here we need to create this variable. So health data, player health data. And inside our player health widget now, inside the construct, we need to get the player character. We need to cast to third person character. And let's promote this to a variable, player ref. And then we need to call these 2 functions. Now inside our player health function, let's get the player reference, and convert to validated get, and get the health data, break it, and get the health progress bar, set value, set percent, sorry, and the percent is this current health divided by the maximum health, and we need to set the text to be equal to, let's format it, and current health, max health, current health, max health. Okay, now let's copy all of this, and inside our update player shield, let's do the same thing, but for the player shield, not health. Current, and update the health text to shield text, and it has progress bar to shield progress bar. Okay, nice. Now if we start the game, we should have the health bar as 60, the default value. Okay, if we try to change the default value here of the let's say current shield to 50, it will give us 50. Okay, what else? Okay, now let's go into, I want to change something. I want to change, first I want to create an interface. Let's create BPI underscore game mode. So that's the interface for the game mode. And I want here to get HUD, a function that gets the HUD. And in here, HUD, WP HUD, HUD. Now let's implement this inside our game mode. Now you don't have to do this if you have an access to the HUD. If you have access to the HUD, but I don't have access to the HUD. So inside the begin play, I want to create, let's copy this from here. Where is it? This, let's remove all of this. And in here, let's paste this, promote this to a variable, and let's implement the interface. So game mode interface, and get HUD, just return this. Oh, that's the wrong value here, the wrong variable. Yeah, HUD. Okay, now let's connect this. Can declare controller for this, but why is this not working? Let's delete this, and okay, now it will work. Great. What else we need now inside our player character? But before, I want to also to remove this from here and paste it inside my player character in here. And for the HUD, inside the begin play, I want to get the in-game mode. I want to get the HUD, and I want to promote it to a variable. And now in here it will work. Yeah. Okay. And now let's go inside our heal player function. So blueprints, usage, heal player. And in here, let's get our player character, player ref, and let's get the health data. Let's break this, and we need to check if the current health is smaller than the maximum health and return this. If true, it can be used. If not, we can't use it. And in here, inside the parent class, if we can't use it, I want to print a string for the player to know, and the string is pointed to a variable. Can't use item warning, and by default cannot use this item. Close this, and in here close this, close this, close this, close this, and this. And in here, let's override this to say health already full. Now for the heal player, let's remove this, and let's get player ref. Let's get health data. Let's break it. And for the current and max health, for the current health, and let's set a member first inside of this. And for the current health, we want the current health plus the heal amount. So this could be any amount you want. Let's mount this to a variable, health amount, and let's make it, for example, 50. Okay. And let's clamp this so it doesn't exceed the maximum health. So clamp float, and this plug it inside the current health. For the minimum, it's 0, and for the maximum, it's the maximum health. And let's remove this, and inside heal player, let's call on item fully used. But before, let's get the player reference. Let's get the HUD, and let's get the player health widget, and then let's update the health player health. Let's call this function. Okay, so now if we start the game, our health is 60, and if we double click, it's 100. You notice how it didn't exceed 100, so it should be 110, but it didn't exceed it because we clamped it. And if we try to use it again, it's gonna say health already full. Okay, now we can do the same thing for the shield. So let's go ahead and potion, static mesh. Let's call this health potion. Let's duplicate this, call it shield potion. And let's go to materials, duplicate this, let's call it shield glass, for example. Let's remove this, and for the base color factor, let's make it blue. Okay, and go back inside our static mesh, shield potion, and shield glass. Okay, close it, and go inside the interactables. Copy this and call it shield potion. Open it up, or we could just change the material here. We don't really need this one. We really don't need it. Just delete this. Just change the material here, and class defaults. Let's call it shield potion. Make it rare. For the image, just import a new one. Okay, plug it here. Max stack also 3. And the usage, we need another class. So let's copy this, paste it, and call it shield player. And here we let's say something funny like taste awful, blocks damage, fair trade. Okay, so everything here, oh, let's change this to shield player, and everything is fine. So let's close this now, we don't need it. And for the shield player, let's open this up. Let's change this function name to shield player. Can be used, let's change it to current shield, smaller than max shield. And inside the shield player, let's change this. And for the current house, current shield, and here, update player shield. Okay. And for the text, let's say shield already full. And for the health amount, let's make it 30. Shield amount. Let's close this. And for the shield, let's drag and drop few shields. So drag this, copy paste it. Now if I start the game and I pick up the shield and I use it, doesn't work for some reason. So let's check this out. Usage, shield player. And the reason is here. So max shield, so current shield plus the shield amount, not the max shield. So let's try now. It's also not working. Oh, we didn't plug this. Okay. So we have two errors. So now it works. So 80. If we pick up another one, 100. And if you could pick up the shield, the potion, sorry, and you use it, it's 100 again. We have full health now. Great. So I think that's it for the story, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more great content. And I will see you in the next series. Take care.